The 17 SDGs, or Sustainable Development Goals, are a set of goals created to make life better for everyone and protect the planet. These goals address problems like hunger, pollution, and poverty. They are a guide for countries around the world to follow, working together to improve people's lives and make the earth a safer place. The goal is to make all of this happen by 2030.
So the first SDG goal is no poverty, which is it deprives millions of their basic amenities such as food, shelter, education, and healthcare. It is closely linked to inequality, unemployment, and lack of resources. Extensive poverty predominantly exists in developing countries. Obviously, the global goal is to end extreme poverty by 2030 and reduce all other types of poverty. That means to enable access to opportunities and protection to lead a life in dignity. It is a collective task requiring commitment to build a more just and equitable world. So it calls for a holistic approach to poverty as it stands. This includes establishing strong social protection system, including unemployment insurance and pension scheme. There must be better access to low-cost healthcare and education, jobs and economic growth, especially for vulnerable groups or required disaster relief and building resilience to crisis from the basis of long-term stability and prevent setbacks. This combined the strategy will help pave a way towards a poverty-free world. It also not about helping the deprived, but about making a world better for all. Eradication of poverty improves the human life, increase work performance, reduce inequality, and make society fairer and more stable. The benefit effects will trickle down further down, just the recipients around the world. So the second SDG goal is zero hunger. Hunger and undernutrition are common problems for over a million people worldwide, with children are horrific to this problem as the most deprived and hopeless. The cause of this crisis is the link between poverty, wrong agricultural system, and high food wastage rates combined. Tackling being their missed target is one component that will accompany us along the path to having enough food, and thereby hunger will be a thing of the past. Not only the country but the entire world is pursuing the common target of wiping out hunger, securing food, and a sustainable agricultural industry come by 2030, which is the goal of SDG. And the removal of hunger exists at a different scale level that a multi-level intervention of action that can be implemented by means of adopting a precise strategy. Small-scale farmers who are the participants of these programs are supplied with the materials and the knowledge they need to be successful, along with them being the driving force for a sickness. The fundamental way of achieving a better food distribution system that ensures limited waste reduction and thus the needy access to adequate nutrition through the nation is working cooperative. These efforts of the countries through a cooperative process among them may be an outstanding method of fighting the problem of hunger around the globe. The end of hunger is something that never happened before. This might mean that we can consider health improvements to be the way to boost productivity. How you might live as a facility for the building of communities, and beside it is the engine driving teams towards the achievement of other world development goals.
The third sustainable development goal is good health and well-being. A lot of people suffer from diseases that can be easily prevented due to the lack of proper health care, and many of them can be easily treated by medicines or avoided by vaccines, but they can't because of the lack of resources. And as we experience these health challenges, it exposes our poor global healthcare system. The SDG's objective is to ensure that citizens live healthy lives physically and mentally by 2030, and they will have access to healthcare services regardless of their status, especially maternal and child healthcare. They'll also do this by tackling global health risks and making sure that they have the resources that can help avoid this. This is essential in order to maintain the health of the human population as well as to prolong their life expectancy. Being equal in terms of providing healthcare services make sure that everyone has the chance to have a quality life, and if the citizens are healthy, it will also produce a strong, healthy society. The fourth sustainable development goal is quality education. A lot of the general population doesn't have access to quality education because of circumstances like poverty and inequality, and those who don't get to study in school or training may have a hard time in being a citizen of a society. Education is essential for developing and economic growth, and that's why this SGD's goal is to provide quality education and opportunities to study for every citizen without the exclusiveness. This also includes vocational training to those looking to improve their technical skills. They'll do this by building more accessible schools, especially in remote areas, as well as train the teachers responsible for teaching the students. And because the world is continuously developing with the help of technology, they will also promote digital learning tools and modern education systems to keep up with it. It is important because education is a right and it equips the citizens with knowledge in order to become a functional member of the society. It should also be inclusive to give opportunities to those of different status. And with this, it is likely that societies will prosper with the help of educated citizens.
What is the situation of gender inequality? Gender inequality remains a global challenge. People place bias focus on their gender identity, including men, women, LGBTQ+ individuals. Women and non-binary individuals often experience discrimination in human rights, and opportunities are inequally distributed, affecting marginalized genders disproportionately. What is the goal of gender inequality? The goal of gender inequality is to ensure everyone, regardless of their gender, has equal opportunities and rights. It aims to empower women, promote justice for LGBTQ+ communities, and eliminate discriminancies and bias globally. And how will they achieve this gender inequality? Eliminating injustice and gender-based discrimination. 2 is addressing and preventing violence against women and marginalized genders. And last is increasing awareness and advocating for inclusive policies to protect and empower all genders. And lastly, why is it important? Gender inequality is crucial for creating a fair and just society. It allows everyone to contribute equally to economic, social, and political progress, fostering innovation and harmony. A world that values equality benefits everyone by reducing poverty, improving education, and enhancing global development.
The seventh Sustainable Development Goal is affordable and clean energy. What is the situation of energy consumption globally? The consumption of energy is too much nowadays and cause a harmful effects on the environmental and global. A goal. So what is the goal? Number 1, improving energy efficiency. Number 2, mitigating the impacts of climate changes. Number 3, supporting vulnerable populations. And also number 4, enhancement of infrastructures, providing sustainable and more renewable energy resources projects. Also, public awareness and advocacies, research for innovations, and last, enhancing the clean energy consumption. And the importance. Number 1, lessen the harm to environment. Number 2, environmental projection. Number 3, address the energy consumption inequalities. And also number 4, global preparedness. The 8th Sustainable Development Goal is decent work and economic growth. How can we create a decent work for all? Unemployed and poor working conditions are major barriers to economic growth, especially in low-income countries. What is the goal? The goal is to promote sustained and inclusive and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. How they will do it? Make job creation through entrepreneurs and small businesses. Support inclusive economic policies that reduce inequality, and also invest in education and training programs to develop workforce skills. And the importance. Decent drives higher productivity, reduces poverty, and promotes social stability. And also, it is essential for creating fair societies and sustainable economies.
We talked about industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure are three interconnected pillars that deal with economic growth, social development, and environmental sustainability. When it comes to industry, it's the product of goods or services within an economy. And next, in innovation, the process of introducing new ideas, methods, or products. When it comes to infrastructure, the basic physical system of a country, regions such as transportation, communication, sewage, water, and electrical system. Here is the common situation about industry, innovation, and infrastructure. First, inequalities to the infrastructure. Second, lack of machineries to provide an effective livelihood. Lack of competencies in the global. And lastly, some of the countries has lacked financial assistance to provide their own machinery. And overall, it shows that emphasize the need to address these issues to improve the economic, social condition of affected countries. What is the goals? Providing sustainability industrialization. It's aimed to promote the industrial growth while minimizing the negative environmental impacts. Second one is access to financial services. This goal focuses on ensuring that individuals and businesses have access to financial services like loans, insurance, and banking. Lastly, research and development. This goal emphasizes the importance of investing, research, and development activities. And this goals seems to be part of more broader strategy to promote economic growth, social development, and environmental sustainability. How they will do it. Here's the strategy instead of how they will achieve their goals. First, capacity building and trainings. Next, collaboration and participating globalized. Industrial and technology enhancement. And lastly, smart infrastructure and development. So these strategies seems to be designed to create more competitive, sustainable and inclusive economy. This breakdown shows the importance of the goals and strategies let's discuss earlier. First, economic growth. Second, social equity. Third, increasing job opportunities and climate resilience. It says na the goals and strategies discussed are important for achieving sustainable development and improving the of individuals and communities.
The 10th Sustainable Development Goal is reduce inequality. Why is reducing inequality important for society? Inequality, whether economic, social, or political, remains a significant barrier to development. Large disparities between the wealthy and the poor, different genders or various ethnic and social groups often lead to social unrest and conflict. What is the goal? Reduce inequality within among countries. How will do it? Promote exclusive economic growth and job opportunities and marginalized groups. Address systematic barriers to essential services like education and healthcare. Implement policies that reduce income inequality, such as progressive taxation. Ensure equal rights and opportunities for all. This is the importance of reduced inequalities. Reducing inequality fosters social stability and ensures fair opportunities for everyone, promoting unity and progress. The 11th Sustainable Development is sustainable cities and communities. What challenges do cities face in achieving sustainability? Rapid urbanization leads to overcrowding, pollution, and inadequate services, affecting both people and the environment. What is the goal? Make cities and human settlement inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. How they will do it? Improve urban planning and build affordable, sustainable housing. Develop green spaces and promote sustainable transportation options. Strengthen disaster resilience and enhance waste management. Ensure access to safe drinking water and sanitation in urban areas. What is importance? This is the importance. Sustainable cities improve people well-being, protect the environment, and reduce the negative impacts of rapid urban growth.
So now let's proceed to responsible consumption and production. Uh, nowadays, global industries and technologies is in rapid increase, so it must need a lot of energy to provide a better quality of services of machineries, digitals, and so on. But on the other point, many of us wasting the energy and don't know how or don't know the impact of it to the environment. The current consumption and productions patterns harm the environment and deplete the natural resources. So one of these is the global warming, and the other was the um, climate crisis. So where the people create more geothermic or other um, renewable energy resources that makes more harm to the environment and cause uh, several effects on Earth, not on Earth, but also in human also. So, what is the goal of the SDGs? So SDGs ensures sustainable consumptions and productions patterns. For instance, it ensures people should more aware on how to properly use the energy and also on how to manage it. So how they will do it? So they promote sustainable resources use in production process, reduce waste through recycling and reusing materials, and also encourage sustainable agricultural practices and reduce food waste, and also they raise awareness of responsible consumers choices and their environmental impact. So it is important that sustainable practices help conserve resources, reduce environmental harm, and mitigate climate change, benefiting the planet for the future generation. So now let's proceed to our goal 13, climate action. So besides from the report almost half of the causes of the climate crisis is the man-made, and the most observable effect on us is the following. Rising temperature, extreme weather, and sea level rise threaten ecosystem, food security, and health. Also, climate change is accelerating, leading to disasters and biodiversity loss. Immediate action is needed to mitigate its impact. So, for the next, what is the goal of SDGs? So, what is the goal of SDGs? So, take urgent action to combat climate change and its effect. So, to reduce the climate change is we needed to take an actions that may reduce the impact of climate change. So one of the example of this is planting a tree, proper use of energy, and so on. So for the next is how they will do it. So they reduce it can be beneficial for us to and also in the environment that it will reduce greenhouse gas emissions through renewable energy and energy efficiency. And also it will build resilience infrastructures to adapt to climate impacts and promote global cooperations and financial support for climate actions. And also they educate and raise awareness to encourage participation. So what is importance? So its importance. So it protects the environment and secures the planet creatures and prevents worsening disasters and ensures a sustainable future.
Goal 14 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs focuses on life below water, aiming to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. Oceans are vital for biodiversity, food security, and climate regulation. They host a diverse array of species, supporting complex food webs and contributing to overall health. Fish and seafood provide the primary source of protein for billions of people worldwide. Oceans absorb a significant portion of carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere, acting as a buffer against climate change. However, they face threats from pollution, overfishing, and climate change. Coral reefs and mangrove forests are particularly important, providing habitat for a quarter of all marine species and protecting coastlines from erosion. To protect our oceans, a concerted effort is needed to reduce pollution, manage fisheries sustainable, and address climate change. The goal is to use oceans and seas for present and future generations by promoting conservation and sustainable use. This involves protecting marine ecosystems, reducing pollution, and combating overfishing. Harvesting marine resources responsibly involves responsible fishing practices, aquaculture management, and finding alternative sources. Balancing the ocean's resources with long-term health requires careful planning, responsible actions, and a shift towards a more sustainable relationship with the ocean. The summary outlines key action to protect the marine ecosystem and achieve SDG 14 goals. This includes reducing marine pollution by preventing waste and plastics, implementing sustainable fishing practices to protect marine biodiversity, protecting coastal ecosystems like coral reefs and mangroves, and strengthening international cooperation for marine protection. This action aims to reduce plastic consumption, improve waste management, and clean up existing pollution. Additionally, they emphasize the importance of establishing protect areas and restoring damaged habitats. The transition to the next SDG Life on Land is also highlighted. This slide highlights the importance of ocean health in supporting biodiversity, human well-being, and climate regulation. It highlights the diverse species in the ocean and the dependence of human communities, particularly coastal ones and marine resources for livelihoods like fishing and tourism. The oceans also regulates climate and carbon cycles, benefiting all life on Earth. The slide encourages further discussion on the threats to ocean health and action needed to protect it. Goal 15, Life and Land. The green color and the image of a tree and birds are visual cues associated with the goal, which focuses on protecting, restoring, and promoting sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably managing forests, combating desertification, and halting and reversing land degradation, and halting biodiversity loss. This summarizes the negative impacts on the land ecosystems, setting the context for further discussion of the goals and strategies for their protection under SDG 15. The partially visible next slide seems to be addressed the goal itself. Restore and sustainably use terrestrial ecosystems. The single statement encapsulates the overarching aims of SDG 15, which is to ensure sustainable management and protection of terrestrial ecosystems, including forests, mountain, and other land resources. It encompasses actions to combat desertification, halt and reverse land degradation, and halt biodiversity loss. The slide provides a clear and concise summary of the central aim of SDG 15. Lastly, the slide outlines strategies for achieving Sustainable Development Goal 15, Life and Land, including protecting forests, promoting sustainable agriculture, combating poaching, and implementing policies to safeguard biodiversity and ecosystems. It focuses on addressing deforestation, promoting sustainable agriculture, preventing illegal wildlife hunting, and implementing strong environmental policies to maintain ecosystem health. The goal is to protect and restore the terrestrial ecosystem, ensuring sustainable future for all. The slides emphasize the importance of protecting terrestrial ecosystem for achieving Sustainable Development Goal 15. It highlights the benefits of maintaining biodiversity and ecosystem services like clean air and water, which are vital for human health. It also highlights the economic importance of healthy land ecosystems for livelihood like agriculture and forestry, and their role in mitigating climate change through carbon and sequestration. The slide underscores the interconnectedness between healthy land ecosystem and human well-being, climate change mitigation.
Today we're diving into Sustainable Development Goal 16, Peace, Justice, and Strong Institutions. This goal is all about fostering peaceful, just societies where everyone has equal access to opportunities and justice. Let's break it down. Corruption, weak institutions, and inequality are some of the biggest threats to peace and justice. They create social instability, disrupt societies, and make it harder for people to live freely. Violence, injustice, and human rights abuses also tear at the fabric of a peaceful society. One of the most pressing issues is limited access to justice, especially for marginalized groups, which only deepens inequality. What is the goal? The core of Goal 16 is to promote peaceful, inclusive societies and build strong, effective institutions. It's about creating a foundation where justice can be accessed by all, where violence and corruption are actively combated, and where everyone, regardless of background, can participate in decision-making processes. How will they do it? To achieve this goal, the world must strengthen the rule of law and ensure that justice is available to everyone. Governments need to promote transparency and accountability in public institutions, making sure that corruption and crime are fought at every level. It also means creating systems that allow all people to have a voice and participate in important decisions that affect their lives. Why is it important? Why does Goal 60 matter? Because strong institutions and peaceful societies are the foundation of a sustainable future. When people can live without fear of violence, and when institutions serve everyone fairly, we pave the way for stability and growth.
This leads to a more equitable society where individuals can thrive and development can be sustainable. By working toward peaceful, just societies with strong institutions, we can ensure that the benefits of progress reach everyone. Let's continue supporting SDG 16 for a better world.
The 17th goal focuses on partnership. To achieve all the SDGs, countries, businesses, and people must work together. Big problems like pollution and inequality can't be solved by just one person or country alone. Everyone has to cooperate and share resources to fix these issues. So, what is the goal of 17th SDG? SDG 17 aims to strengthen and create partnership that will help achieve all the other SDGs. It's about making sure that people and organizations around the world cooperate to reach the common goals. So how they will do it? First, sharing resources. Countries, businesses, and organizations will share money, tools, and knowledge with places that need it. Some countries may need extra help to make things better, and others can provide support. Second, working together. Governments, businesses, and people will join forces to solve problems. Everyone do their part, like how soccer team works together to win a game. Third, learning from each other. People will teach each other what works. If one country finds a great way to clean up the ocean, they can share their ideas with other countries to help them do the same. Fourth, aligning systems. Trade, money, and technology must be in line with SDGs so that they support sustainable development and help everyone everywhere. So why is this important? Partnership are key because when people and countries work together, they can solve big problems faster. If everyone shares their knowledge and resources, it can make the world better for everyone. The more we cooperate, the easier it will be to tackle challenges like hunger, pollution, and inequality. The 17 SDGs are a roadmap for creating a better world where everyone has access to things like food, clean water, education, and a healthy environment. This goal aims to reduce poverty, protect the planet, and make sure no one is left behind. But just like building something big, it's not something we can do alone. Achieving SDGs require all of us, governments, businesses, communities, and individuals, working together. By joining forces, sharing ideas, and supporting each other, we can make the world a better, fairer, and a safer place for everyone. Let's do our part to make sure that by 2030, this goal are achieved and we create a world where everyone can live happy and healthy lives.